We all just saw, that happens before the game starts?
Yeah, so the cinematic that takes place 2 years before the events from the game. So 2 years before Cohen, our main protagonist, becomes a Dawnwalker.
Okay.
So you can see that in the CGI, he's still very young, he's very, inexperienced. You see that innocence in him, right? But that will need to change. The world is going to change drastically for him. He will need to grow up, he'll need to mature a bit. So you will see that in the other game assets, he looks a bit differently.
I did wonder why he looked so much younger. Clearly, Cohen has had a rough couple of years. I can't wait to work out what happened in between. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Now, but we didn't just meet Cohen, right? We met his younger sister, Lunka, as well. But in the video we just saw, Conrad mentioned that she was healed. So does that mean she wasn't turned into a vampire then?
No, Lunka was indeed healed from the plague, the Black Death, by Brancis, this old vampire, leader of the vampire clique. And turning humans into vampires works a bit differently in our game. But we actually have another duo of devs who are going to talk about it in a moment.
Okay, well then I won't steal their thunder. I'll let them explain it. But I guess what I should ask is, who or what is a Dawnwalker then?
That is such a loaded question, so many layers to it, honestly. Okay, but so the basic premise is like this. Dawnwalkers look like humans during the day, but they turn into vampires after dusk. But
Maybe it's a cool twist, I suppose.
They're not actually humans, and they're not actually vampires. They are something in between.
Okay, very mysterious. I love it. Now, Dawnwalker itself, it's a brand new IP, right?
Yeah, it is.
Gameplay
it is
glimpse at the
original.
end.
And I think this is what actually makes this project really special for us, because it's a handcrafted universe, of course, rooted in real history, inspired by some myths and legends, but essentially built by our team from the ground up.
From a gamer perspective, again, knowing that you guys have full control, that you've got a vision for how this is going to be and that you can actually implement that, it's just so exciting.
It's so exciting for us as well.
Yeah,
you know?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Now, I could talk about this all day, but we should move on and talk about the art of Dawnwalker, the world and its inhabitants, which includes vampires.
Oh,
Yes,
really,
and we will
Silver?
meet
Let's
with our art director, Bartłomiej Gaweł, and our environment artist, Adam Payet.
And we're also going to hear more about the characters and narrative design as well, right?
Yes, and for that we will meet with our writer, Ariana Sierkiewicz, and our creative director, Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz. Take it away, guys.
All right.
Man, look at this place. That would be perfect for the writing team.
Not just for them. I love storytelling myself. Since I can remember, telling stories through images is what I love to do.
Yeah.
So when I received the first script for the Dawnwalker, I fell in love with it right away.
I think for me, what got me was the concept art when I first saw those Carpathian villages hugging the mountain slopes, the valleys, forests, and then also the muddy streets of Svartrau and the long shadow of the cathedral. It all felt very authentic, muddy, and also very familiar, homely, and, well, Eastern European.
Not just Eastern Europe.
No, yeah.
It's a mix of predominantly Romanian motifs with broader influences of Balkan cultures. It gave us a freedom of creation. It's a vast range of inspiration from Polish log houses to Ukrainian or Balkan clothing to Romanian defensive churches.
That variety and that broad spectrum was also interesting to get because I never thought as an environment artist I would have to learn in Romanian how to Google specific museums just to get the references.
On the other hand, we also set a boundary for ourselves, and that boundary is a time period of inspiration ranging from the 13th to 15th century. And this is meant to ensure the visual consistency of the work.
Yeah, and that is also quite a challenge to make sure that what you create is authentic, grounded, and has a real sense of place, but at the same time isn't just a picture and invites exploration and promotes that gameplay.
I wanted to see how far we could push realism so that players truly feel part of the narrative. But this is not a simulation of medieval life.
Not at all.
Realism can be boring, and we wanted to create something exciting. And that's where the magic comes in.
Yes, the magic.
Our magic isn't filled with fireballs or flashy lights.
Yeah, it's It's probably even more interesting to get right than the realism part of it, because when a quest brief comes through and the magic is manifested by, I don't know, birds flying in the sky in a strange formation or the northern lights not being in the north, it really makes you rethink the whole location and how it should come together to marry those two aspects.
Our magic is also serious and it's closer to paranormal phenomena than to traditional spellcasting. It's like the X-Files set in the Middle Ages, all deeply rooted in the history of the Dawnwalker world.
Yeah, and I think it's the weather and the lighting system that do majority of the heavy lifting to take a location and really push it one notch above realism to give it a slightly off feeling. I think my favorite location for that is the cathedral. During the daytime, it's that monument to Gothic architecture with people bustling around. And then as soon as the sun starts setting in and the streets clear, the fog starts setting in, and it becomes a completely transformed, different area, very spooky, almost liminal, cemetery-like space.
And that was also a very early and conscious choice on our part. We wanted the world to be a different place after the sun sets.
Right, so hold on. Environment as is.
I can't say
something
anything
I
because then
understand,
I'll cut
right?
him
I do
off.
it every day. I understand the creative process behind it, but I've never touched anything to do with character art, which is your speciality. So, would you mind walking me through what was your creative process in coming up with that whole thing?
Sure. So we approached the work on vampires very seriously. It's a whole new universe. What's even better is that it's a mix of familiar elements.
There was a
fresh
vampire
twist.
RPG that was released. I don't remember what it's called now.
Vampires are well-defined in pop culture and have been around for a long time. So we wanted to create
No,
something
not
fresh.
V-Rising, Vampire,
So
yeah.
what
I never
primarily
played
sets them
that one.
apart is their teeth.
Was that good?
Our vampire teeth keep growing throughout their lives. The older the vampire, the more teeth they have. So instead of two sharp teeth, they
Seems a
have
bit
a
mixed.
series of needle-like fangs, densely growing from their jaws, often
They got
emerging from
baraka
different
teeth.
parts of their skull as they age. The teeth keep growing because the vampire can use them to create another vampire.
What?
And the mechanism is very simple. The vampire pulls out his fang and drives it into the heart of its victim.
Lovely.
So what's interesting is that our vampire's teeth aren't visible at first. They can extend as the mouth opens, and it looks really creepy.
Yeah, I still remember the first time that the animations came through from the character art team, showing the mouth opening and the teeth growing, and it was absolutely disgusting. I loved every bit of it.
No, not V-Rising. It's called Vampire.
So Cohen's Argeria, the silver poisoning he got when he was working in the mines, is both a blessing and a curse. Because on one hand, it weakens him. On the other hand, it protects him from becoming a vampire fully. So, you know, he gets to traverse both worlds, both the world of humanity and the world of the creatures of the night.
Yeah, well, he was kind of used to dealing with the vampires since it's been like a couple years since Francis took over. Now he has to find a way to deal with things like undead lurking in ancient tombs that should have remained closed. Kobolds that used to only prey on miners going way too deep into the mines, or even Uriashes, who used to live high up in the mountains, secluded, and now they are in Francis's troops.
Yeah, and they are vastly different.
Oh yeah, they all have their own separate cultures, and well, if you want to deal with them, I would kinda like to you should get to know them a bit. Or
No, they're gonna
else
show
I get
gameplay at the
because
end. I
they
think it's
all
like
have their
45
own
minutes
goals,
long or something.
aspirations
Not
now
the
that they
gameplay, but
came
the
out of
show.
the shadows in Francis's wake.
It's a source of a lot of tension, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of tension. Some of them can cooperate with humans, but mostly it's just new issues, new problems nobody had to deal with before.
But I think this is great because all of that tension, all of these problems are great storytelling
We're
material.
gonna learn
for
about
us.
this game
We're
from
building
chat
all
at the
that
beginning of the
content.
stream.
For example, Brancis, he had to normalize this thing for the humanity, convince everyone this is the new normal.
Yeah.
And the way he did this was, first of all, you know, there was a lot of social turmoil. And on the other hand, a lot of deeply held religious beliefs. And he twisted them. He turned himself into this messianic figure. So, for example, he introduced these blood masses where he feeds a human vampire blood, right? And at the same time, they have these other things like punishing criminals with like draining them dry.
Yeah,
Okay.
but, well, you know, some people actually liked it because once Francis came in, he set up a new order of things. He finally got down to business, and then he locked the valley off so that nobody can touch it. No outside, outside influence can touch it. And, well, some others did not like it so much, and they began to reach into the depths of forgotten magic, occult, stuff like that.
Yeah, so either way you look at it, the Veil Sangora will never be the same again.
Not a chance. Well, that is a lot of world building, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many things we need to remember to make this into a cohesive whole. And at the same time, you have the challenges posed by the open world itself. Because, you know,
No, they haven't
there's a risk
done
of
any
the
release
content being
date. No, no.
formulaic or repetitive. We handcraft all of it, and we focus on telling these unique themes we really care about.
Oh yeah, we want to talk about loss, about the meaning of family, about opposing tyranny, about trying to coexist with creatures you've never had to coexist with before.
Well, but that would be difficult to do with just Coin and Brensis, right?
Impossible, actually. We had to create a whole host of characters, and we really wanted to avoid having cardboard cutouts, like without motivations, without backgrounds, goals, and ambitions. But, you know, when you meet those characters, your goals and ambitions may overlap, and you befriend them, or it might be the opposite, and you go on a warpath with them. But, you know, given the goal that you have ahead of you, it might be good to have some friends to go along with.
Well, but you could go on your own, right? If you wanted.
Well, yeah, you could just grab a sword and go storm the castle.
Yeah.
But, you know, it might be wise to, for instance, find the rebel cell and try to dismantle Brensis' rule with them. Or, I don't know, listen to what an agent from outside of Veil Sangora has to say.
Which is exactly why I love how we structured the game, because we offer a lot of choice in which characters do you want to interact with, which you might want to skip altogether. And also on top of that, you have this layer of non-linearities where you can decide their fates, but also the fate of Cohen and his family.
Yeah, and I really like that because it gives us so much replayability. You can always choose a different path. There's something else waiting there for you.
Yeah, exactly. And also, on top of that, you know, get to find all these secrets of Veil Sangora and fill all the blanks and, you know, explore the world.
And yet another path might be lurking within that.
Handcrafted
It's almost
content
time for
is
gameplay,
all
I
good and
think.
well. But on top of that, we also have a number of really cool gameplay systems that further feed into the narrative.
Yeah, and speaking of feeding, my favorite one is the blood hunger. It lets me play a real vampire. I don't just have to drink blood to use my cool abilities in combat, but if I talk to someone without feeding first, I might just lose control and I might eat them.
What?
And it's not going to be just any random peasant that I won't care about. I can eat my best friend, and I will break my heart, and I will break my quest.
Yeah, so you better keep him well fed.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have a fave?
Yeah, I really enjoy the ones that are revolving around Brensis, because, like, it makes him this active antagonist. You know, this means that he will basically react to what Cohen is doing. He will pass these edicts that will hinder your path. So, for example, he might set up military checkpoints that will be on your way.
That changes the world, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also, you know, it's not just him running the show. It's also his 3 powerful vampire allies.
Yeah, when I saw them in CGI, that was such a hype moment. Finally animated, voiced, and just loved it.
Yeah, and on top of being cool characters, they also have their own, like, spheres of influence, and you get to dismantle their organization step by step, making it simpler for you to confront Brensis and free your family.
Well, when it comes to freeing your family, there is one more antagonist. That is time itself, because every time you do something important in the game, when you complete an objective or you complete a quest, time moves forward.
Yeah, but what I really like about this also is it's not like real time. You actually get to control how much of this resource you want to spend, right?
Yeah, you have to manage it wisely, but if you just want to enjoy the view or just take a stroll, you can without stress. But once you get down to business, you have to do it smart.
Yeah, so I think all of these things combined, handmade quests and the gameplay systems, create for this really fun, unique experience.
Yeah, and you know what? I cannot wait to see what shenanigans players will get up to playing with those systems. I will be there watching it.
Same.
It's time.
As you can imagine, last 2 years were really intense for us. I want to thank the whole Rebels pack. You are the best, and it's a privilege to work with you. The Blood of Dawnwalker is a very special game for us because it's first truly ours. What you have seen so far is only the beginning. In upcoming months, we will share more with you. But for now, I have one more surprise for you.
Coming next, gameplay. It says top right, but my camera's blocking it. I think it's combat theme, yeah. It bangs though. It does. Gameplay. Ooh. All right. More. Yeah, they did say a teaser, so. Summer 2025.
And we are back. And wow, do we have a lot to talk about. But first things first, some of those concept arts, I need them as wallpapers like yesterday if you can.
That's okay, I got you covered, no worries.
Well, one of the big things that really
there a car
matters
alarm
in
going
this
off?
game is that time matters. You're only going to have 30 days to make all of your decisions.
Is that on
Well,
stream?
it is actually 30 days and 30
yeah.
nights. So as Cohen, your objective is to save your family. But how you do it, when you do it, and if you actually do it at all, it all depends on you and your decisions.
Wow. Now, the astute amongst you watching at home will probably just have clicked that that is why there was a 30-day and 30-night countdown prior to the stream going live today. Just those little bits of detail, all of the tie-ins, the full wolf moon. I love it. It makes me so excited to see what's coming. But the fact that decisions are going to matter in the game, like I can't do everything, right? It's just not going to be possible. And not just that, it's the start of a whole saga. It's not just this game.
It is an adventure through the ages where you walk the line between our world and its secret dark underbelly. And of course, while you'll get a complete satisfying story in this first installment, there will be so much more to unfold in the future titles.
Damn, they're already talking about future titles.
Incredible. Honestly, it's a game I can't wait to play myself, and having got to see that sneak peek, even now, it looks so beautiful. It's in Unreal Engine 5, right?
Yes, it is in the Unreal Engine 5 technology. You know, we filled it to the brim with cinematic dialogues and cutscenes. And since we are talking about the tech stuff, I do want to mention one more thing, which is the third-person perspective. You could already see, and yes, the game will be in the third-person perspective, to give you that classic action RPG feel where you are really dropped into the middle of action.
All right.
That's exactly how an RPG should be. And one of the things that I learned here about the game, speaking of classic RPGs, the Blood of Dawnwalker will have no microtransactions. It will have no live service elements. There are going to be no NFTs or any of that stuff. It's just going to be a pure single-player experience, the kind of game that an RPG should be.
That's right, that's right.
Wow. Now, we did promise earlier that we'd keep our eyes on the questions coming in, so I will ask the big one. Dominika, do we have a release date?
Oh, I knew that would happen at some point. Okay. Well, about the release date. We are not quite ready to announce it just yet, but don't worry, once we are confident about this, we will let you know. And we will definitely let all of you guys know as well. But in the meantime, join our official social media channels. We will be posting a lot in the upcoming months and giving you even more insight into the universe of Dawnwalker.
Yes, and if you just can't wait for more Dawnwalker content, check out the upcoming issue of PC Gamer as well. It's just a few weeks away, and you're going to hear more about the world and the lore of Dawnwalker in there, so make sure that you don't miss it. But with that, we have reached the end of everything we are here to share with you tonight.
All right, so I'm going to keep track of.
It's an absolute privilege to be a part of.
I don't think it's out on
Thank
Steam
you so
yet, is
much,
it?
Lionheart. Thank you so much to all of you watching us today. We're so happy that we could finally share all these cool things we have been working on with you. And we will meet again this summer to talk more about the Blood of Dawnwalker, this time focusing on the gameplay features and unveiling how it actually plays.
All right.
Until then,
thank you so much for joining us tonight, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Summer for gameplay. I mean, yeah, I like that it's third person though. I saw some people say it might be like a CRPG or whatever. Extended gameplay trailer on YouTube. Yeah, why did I even believe that?
Hey, you.
Chuba thanks the 85, Simo thanks 3, M to the M thanks 4, Glacial 57, Lunetta thanks the 109,
Hey, you.
Hakumi thanks 54, Brave thanks 21, Amir thanks 60, and Demise thanks 54. Thank you.
Hey, you. Hey, you.
Watch gameplay again. There wasn't that much to see in it.